So my family and I, we lead a low carb lifestyle, not so much for our health reasons, more for vanity purposes. However, I know that there are a lot of people out there that have to lead a low carb lifestyle specifically for their health. That being said, there are a lot of low carb bread companies on the market now, and a lot of them have some really awesome advertising as far as what their net carb counts are. So my family and I just decided on a whim to go ahead and have some of these tested just to see if the net carb count is what is advertised on the label. Again, this doesn't really affect us health-wise, but it can affect other people and their health, and if they are getting more carbs than they should be allotted, that can really put their health at risk and, you know, jeopardize their, you know, their future as far as, you know, what they're able to do, not do, etc., etc. So basically, this is the first one. It's called Keto Culture. However, it does look a lot like the Fran's Bakery brand, just by the logo and how it's kind of like symboled right there. Anyway, it says that, how many net carbs does it claim to have? It says that their total carb count is 12 grams and their dietary fiber is 11 grams. And so to get to your net carb count, you take your regular carbs and then you subtract what the dietary fiber is. So in theory, this should have 1 gram of net carbs. And this is the Keto Culture. Let's see, here's the UPC code for it. And then sometimes they have lot numbers, usually on their twist tie. This looks like it's 004. Anyway, so the Keto Culture claims to have 1 net carb. The next, and another one that we came across, Live Carb Smart, a whole whopping 1 net carbs. So yeah, the less net carbs they claim, the more it seems like it's too good to be true. So let's see, it says that 13 grams of carbs and 11 grams of fiber, and then 1 gram of soluble fiber and 1 gram of insoluble fiber. So apparently they think that it has 1 net carb. Again, here's the UPC code. Here's the nutritional facts. And this one doesn't appear to have a lot number on it. Or maybe this is it. 31722. Again, this is Live Carb Smart by Aunt Millie's. Claiming to have 1 net carb. We'll see. Next we have L'Oven Fresh, keto friendly. And I'm not sure where the carb count is on this at all. 5 grams of protein, blah, blah, blah. So it has 9 grams of carbs, and 9 grams of dietary fiber. So this one claims that it has 0 net carbs. Absolutely no net carbs is what Keto Friendly by L'Oven Fresh is claiming on this one. And let me just hold on 1 second. And what I forgot to mention is this is an Aldi brand. So Aldi is a supermarket that targets, you know, certain demographics, and certain people within that demographic also usually are shopping because they are usually pre-diabetic or diabetic or things like that. And so, you know, anybody that would come across this and, you know, 0 net carbs, it seems like a godsend, but in reality they could be having a lot more carbs than what they are under the belief that they're having. Again, this one has 9 grams of carbs and 9 grams of dietary fiber, giving it a whopping 0 net carbs. Here's all that information. Here's the UPC code. And let's see, do you have a lot number? One, 3, 6, 4 is what this looks like. So that's Aldi, La Oven Fresh. This is the great low carb bread company. Low cal plain bagels. Bagels are awesome. Everybody who's watching their carbs misses bagels. I know I do. So when I came across these, I was super stoked. And it says 2 net carbs is what they are advertising. So it says total carbs 16 grams and the dietary fiber is 14, giving a 2 net carb count. There's all the information right there. There's the UPC code. Again, 2 net carbs from the great low carb bread company. Bagels look really good. Cream cheese. And last, a company, Sola bread. Claims to have 2 grams of net carbs. Right there. 2 grams. And so they have 7 grams of carbs and 4 grams of fiber, which would be 3 net carbs. So I'm not even sure where they even came up with the 2, unless, let's see. Oh, okay, and then minus the sugar, alcohol. There we go. All right. Anyway, here is the label and the UPC. And it looks like the lot number is 343. And that's Sola bread, 2 grams of net carbs. So here are all the breads that have these really, really ambitious claims on, some from 3 net carbs to 2 net carbs to 1 to each. Hi, so the last time I was doing an unboxing of low carb or 0 carb breads out there, just to send them off and get a accurate count on exactly what ingredients they have as far as the fiber and any kinds of extra sugars or whatnot that contribute to having a higher count than what they advertise they have. And we got the results back, and I'm about 7 grand lighter because of that, but it's, I think, important to know what it is that you're putting in your body, and if you think that it's one thing and it's really another thing, that can cause a lot of issues, especially if you have, health concerns, if you're diabetic and you really need to watch what your carb intake is and the insulin that follows with that. So start off the results. Keto Culture, also, I think it's by France, the company that has other low carb breads out there. But their final report that we got back, they were claiming that they had 1 net carb. So 12 total carbs and 11 grams of fiber, which would bring it to 1 net carb. And then here's like the authentic, or the actual breakdown there. And then here's the final report also. And then what we got back from the lab says that 13 grams of carbs and 11 grams of fiber. So that's actually 2 net carbs instead of the claim of 1 net carb. So that's 100% higher. So Keto Culture, they have 100% more carbs than what they're advertising. Not good. The next sample that we got the results back is a company called the Great Low Carb Bread Company, and they had a low cal plain bagel, and they're claiming total carbs 16 and dietary fiber 14, which would be a claim of 2 net carbs. So also, it's worth mentioning that the Great Low Carb Bread Company's bagels are double the serving size compared to the serving size of one slice of bread from all the other brands. So comparing apples to apples, their bagels would have 1 net carb if you were to slice it in half, which basically gives you, more bang for your buck when it comes to their products and the net carbs that they have within them. Here we have the final report. Second half of that report. Here's the other breakdown. And the nutrition facts. 13 grams of carbohydrates and 11 grams of dietary fiber, which gives you a 2 net carb count for the bagels, and that's spot on. So the Great Low Carb Bread Company, again, one of the few in this batch that is actually aligned with what they're claiming. So definitely one of the companies that has 100% integrity instead of like 100% more carbs than what they're claiming. I sent off was a company called Sola, and it was the sweet and buttery bread. Now, what Sola is claiming is that they have 2 net carbs, so a total of 7 carbs, and then their dietary fiber is 4, and then they're also subtracting the 1 gram of sugar alcohol in there with the erythritol. So here is the final report for Sola. The second part of that. And then the nutrition facts came back from the lab saying total carbohydrates 8 grams with a dietary fiber of 5 and 1 gram of sugar, it looks like. So that gives it 3 net carbs as opposed to the 2 net carbs that they were saying. So they're about 33% more carbs than what it is they're advertising for. So again, Sola not hitting the mark that they claim that they are hitting. And so the last one that we have is the Aldi La Oven Fresh Keto Friendly, which claims to have 9 total carbs and 9 grams of fiber with an advertised 0 net carb count. Here's the final report right there. And then the lab results came back with a total of 10 carbohydrates and 8 grams of dietary fiber, which would give us a net count of 2 grams of carbs, not the 0 net that they claim. So that's 200% more than what it is they're advertising. Again, this is the Aldi brand, La Oven Fresh Keto Friendly. They advertise 9 total carbs with 9 grams of fiber to get a 0 net carb count, but in all actuality, they have 10 grams of carbs and 8 grams of fiber, which gives it a 2 net carb count. That kind of wraps up this last round of testing. And the reason that this is done is, again, because there's a lot of people out there that are depending on what these labels are claiming because they're on a strict dietary intake or dietary restrictions. And so everything they count everything that they have to take in, it counts to count. And so when companies are being dishonest about what it is they have in their product to seem more enticing or to seem like a miracle product, it's really unfair to the people that they're depending on to support them, because they're literally getting more than what it is that they're paying for. And I'm not a moral crusader or anything like that, but I do think that companies should be held accountable. And fortunately, I have the means to do this little vanity project to call out, companies that aren't being honest with the products that they're selling. I lead a low carb lifestyle, and mine is more just for, vanity purposes. But still, when you have certain goals, it's hard to reach them if you're being undermined by the people that you're trusting. And it can cause a lot of confusion on why you're not improving either look-wise or health-wise when the company that you're giving money to is being blatantly dishonest with what it is they're selling you. So that wraps up this kind of report. Thanks for watching.